Hello everyone, and welcome back to Tiny Terrors. As always, I'm your host, Mr.G. You know, it's kind of funny. Last Tiny Terrors was about biting animals, and this one is also about an insect famous for biting people. Okay, let's just get into this. We're doing mosquitoes. Mosquito refers to any insect in the Calicidae family. As I just said, they're insects, they're nectarivores. That's their supposed-to-be diet. They're described in 1818, and they're basically found anywhere except polar regions. Now, due to how often humans come across them, mosquitoes are very well known appearance-wise. They have 6 incredibly spindly legs, they have a long proboscis that we'll get into later, and just like all flies, they only have a single pair of wings. Now, male mosquitoes are actually pretty harmless to most animals. They're nectar drinkers. However, female mosquitoes, as soon as they reach adulthood, they are well known for the fact they go out to seek blood. Why do they drink blood? It's because they need the iron in order to give birth. Speaking of which, much like frogs, mosquitoes actually start out life as aquatic animals. Females will lay her eggs in a pond, and then when the eggs hatch, the larvae are aquatic animals until they metamorphosize into their adult forms. Now, mosquitoes are also notable for the fact that when they bite someone, they leave behind a bump, which is caused by the fluids they inject in order to make sure that their prey barely feel a thing when they suck their blood. These bumps are very, very, very irritating, and very hard to not notice. In addition to that, there's also something else about mosquitoes that I'll mention during my Relations of Humans segment. Overall, mosquitoes are annoying animals. Now that we got that out of the way, let's look at the card. Now, for this series, they specifically chose the mosquitoes that cause malaria, which is interesting. And quite frankly, there's not much to say about this card. It's fine. Yeah, fine. It's fine. It's fine. Now let's talk about mosquitoes' relationships of humans. Mosquitoes are quite possibly the most hated creature on the planet. When you think of other hated animals, there's at least someone out there who likes them. People fear sharks, but I can't really think of too many people who say they outright hate them. People are afraid of snakes, but plenty of people keep those as pets. Same thing with tarantulas, rats, things like that. But mosquitoes, nobody likes mosquitoes. And if someone does, I'm pretty sure that's a sign of insanity. But why are mosquitoes so hated? Well, as I mentioned earlier, mosquitoes end up causing large itchy bumps all over your body, and you can't even scratch them because then they might get infected. So yeah, that's a bonus. Content warning, diseases. If you don't want to hear about this, then skip forward till you no longer see the black box. But let's get into the main reason why they're hated. Mosquitoes are well known for the fact that they have spread a lot of diseases over the years. Let's look at some of these, shall we? First of all, as I mentioned earlier, there's malaria, a disease caused by a parasite. The best way to describe it, imagine the flu or the cold, except a lot worse. Oh, there's yellow fever, a fun disease that basically kills your liver and turns your skin yellow. Isn't that fun? Ooh, how about Zika, a disease that, while harmless to most people, ends up causing babies in the womb to become super deformed. Isn't that fun? How about the West Nile virus? That's a fun disease, isn't it? Oh, these and so much more are all diseases given to us by the blessing known as mosquitoes. Mosquitoes spread so much disease that some scientists actually consider them to be the most dangerous animal on the planet. I'm not even kidding. Some people consider them more dangerous than sharks, box jellyfish, things like that. So, with all of that being said, I guess this raises the interesting question. Should we make mosquitoes extinct? And quite frankly, I'm gonna have to go with no on this subject. Why? Well, if I'm being honest, I think that driving mosquitoes extinct is something that sounds good in the short term, but I fear that in the long term it'll have dangerous ecological consequences that we didn't see coming. You see, mosquitoes are a pretty big food source for a lot of animals, like dragonflies or bats, and I feel like by driving them extinct, we might eventually drive those animals extinct. Potentially. Look, I just don't think it's a good idea to wipe out a species without considering the consequences, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not a mosquito defense advocate, definitely not. I'm just saying we need to think through the consequences of what could potentially happen if we wipe them out. But, look, I'll talk more about calls for extinction when I get to pandas, because I have a lot to say on the subject. Okay, there was a lot of negativity in that segment. How about something positive? Scientists are currently genetically modifying mosquitoes in order to make them immune to the malaria parasite, which would make them unable to transfer it to humans. So that's a nice thing, I guess. It would still cause problems with itching, but hey, would you rather be itchy for a while or have a literal parasite inside of you? Exactly. Well, that's all for this episode of Tiny Terrors. Next time we're going back to Strange Wonders to look at the wonderful world of beetles. Bye!